What's good, gamers? Bloodoff941 here, back with another Destiny 2 weapon video. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new precision SMG, the Noxious Vetiver. What the f*** is a Vetiver? God. So I can't say that word, commonly known as vetiver, and Coos is a perennial bunch grass of the family. I can't say that word either. Grass. Vetiver is grass. But before we get too deep in the video, if y'all could click like and hit subscribe as well, that'd be really cool. I put out 2 videos a week, Tuesdays and Fridays at noon Eastern time. Thanks! Alright, so the Noxious Vetiver is a 600 RPM arc precision frame seasonal SMG. It's considered a Tomb of Elders weapon for the purposes of tonics, I think. The specific weapon focusing tonic is in the Tomb of Elders section, and you unlock it by creating tonics around it until you get lucky. Normally, I'd start talking about what it competes with, but it doesn't compete with anything. There are other precision SMGs, at least 2 of which are in the energy slot. It's just so extremely bad of a weapon at a baseline, so it can't compete mathematically. Like, look at this, dude. I went back to the fucking Antiope D from Season 1, Destiny 2 launch, and it's better than this piece of shit. The Atalanta from Season 2 has 1 less range, but better stability and handling. And don't even get me started on how Shayura's Wrath clowns on this thing in every single fucking way. Like, look at the stat disparity. No other precision SMG is statistically worse. Like, some might have a lower point here or a lower point there, but overall, 1 point of difference isn't enough, and they've got higher in 2 other spots. Christ, this gun is so bad. And the perks, they're not much better. In column 3, you've got Loose Change, To the Pain, Thresh, Unrelenting, Attrition Orbs, Pugilist, and Heating Up. The Loose Change does nothing without jolting feedback, and that takes around 18 shots to proc if you're not amplified, rendering both it and Loose Change functionally useless in PvP. You have to invest too hard in your build in other spots in order to make Loose Change work. I still do not like To the Pain. Yes, the aim assist is pretty good, and handling is nice, but since it loses all of its stacks on stowing the weapon, and handling affect your swap speed, it feels like a waste to lose half the reason for running the perk by trying to take advantage of the perk. Like, there's a part of my brain that tries to be as efficient as possible, and it doesn't do it all the time, obviously, but I feel like I'm intentionally wasting something here by trying to get as much of a benefit out of it as possible, and I don't like that at all. Not a fan. Thresh is not for PvP. The chances of you living through the rapid kills for Unrelenting to proc is quite slim, so I wouldn't go with that one either. Attrition Orbs is also not for PvP. Pugilist is great for arc builds and synergies, but I don't care. Heating Up is probably the best option. It brings your recoil direction to a perfect 100 if you don't happen to have Arrowhead or the other barrel that I can't think of right now because I'm so good at this. It boosts stability as well, so those are 2 things that are needed on this gun very heavily. God, the bar is so fucking low, dude. Heating Up or nothing. To be honest, just do nothing. This gun is bad. This gun is so bad. In column 4, you've got Jolting Feedback, Target Lock, Frenzy, Redirection, Vorpal Weapon, Desperate Measures, and Rampage. Jolting Feedback seems designed explicitly not to work in PvP. If you're amplified, it goes to 13 shots to proc, which means entirely body shots. And I'm pretty sure it's 14 shots or 15 shots or something like that to get an entire body shot kill, meaning that you get your 13 shots onto a target, and then shot 14 is the jolt shot, and then 15 procs the jolt shot. So, like, it's gonna kick in and make itself known as the target dies, meaning it's fucking useless in PvP. Unless, like, someone's, I don't know, blocking with a sword and not fighting you, or they've got a turbo overshield and they're just standing there letting you shoot them, this is not going to ever matter in PvP. Target Lock is fucking Target Lock on an SMG. It is the best option. It makes this gun actually functional, but that's because it's Target Lock, not because of the gun. Frenzy. Yep. Cooldown and I spent like 10 minutes trying to find a way to get redirection to even work in PvP, and the best that we could come up with, and it might not even work, is shooting the red bar Cabal turret from the Iron Banner game mode in order to build up stacks on it, and then use the stacks that you gain from shooting the red bar one to shoot the yellow bar one, which are most definitely constructs, meaning they don't work. I'm trying to find the highlights, man. I'm trying really hard here. A Vorpal weapon is if you're staring down a Fist of Havoc or an Arc Staff, but they're just going to kill you, so don't. Desperate Measures is interchangeable with Rampage based on personal preference. Unless you're at 3 stacks of each, then Rampage edges out Desperate against Tier 6 Resilient Under only. In this column, your best options are Target Lock, Desperate, or Rampage. And to be honest with you, Target Lock is far and away the best option here. Otherwise, every other perk either won't work in PvP or won't do enough without playing like shit and investing too heavily into your build that it becomes a detriment. If you want to take this in the Crucible and find even the smallest modicum of success, you're going to want Heating Up in 3, Target Lock in 4, and a range and stability focus everywhere else. The Origin trait can be ignored, but the extra mag size that comes through is decent, since precision frame base mags are rather low for their weapon type. Pairing is pretty easy. Any gun that you'd rather use over this in the kinetic slot. Profit, Bygones, Round Robin, DMT, Outbreak, anything else with more range than Noxious Vetiver. Now, if you couldn't tell from my extremely subtle indications, this gun is ass. Target Lock lets it go fucko mode, but that's because it's Target Lock on an SMG. You're better off using Shayura's Wrath, Adjudicator, Unending Tempest, or even Synchronic Roulette. They'll have better stats, better perks, and they'll do something better. Or they're in a slot that lets you use Igneous Hammer since they buffed 120s, like Adjudicator, Unending Tempest, Synchronic, or Kinetic. Just use them if you want to use Igneous Hammer. If you really want to use a precision frame in the energy slot, Shayura's Wrath is just fucking amazing. Now yeah, it's a Trials weapon, so like it's not as easy to get, but who cares? I spent all of Wednesday trying to get some decent footage, and this is the best I could come up with, man. It's outclassed at close range, it's outclassed at mid range, it's outclassed by every other legendary precision SMG in the game, it's not good for chaining, it isn't fast enough to melt players that you got the drop on. Even with a perfect 100-degree curl direction and max stability, it just feels off. And it's got maybe one roll to chase to make it feel usable. Some of the time, too. Because even with Target Lock, like, yes, it makes it go insane, but there are times where you're like, oh, I should win this fight. And then you miss due to your bad aim or latency, or the player moves in a weird way and you lose your buff, and you're fucked. Now, yes, this is clearly a gun meant for PvE, like the Corazian was, but I'm gonna be honest here, I don't even think it's worth it there either. Think about it, right? Loose change and jolting feedback are obviously the pairing they want you to run, meaning you should be using it to dump mag into a beefier target surrounded by smaller ones. So why would you use this to do that, instead of the multi-mock with attrition orbs and kinetic tremors they just gave away to everybody? Or Huckleberry, since that just got buffed and has OG Year 1 Rampage on it, plus all the extra power creep going on since it's an exotic primary. If you really want the chain lighting fantasy, you're probably already using Risk Runner. Like, unless your exotic slot is being taken up by your heavy, and your kinetic is a special weapon, and you've got to deal with overload champions, but you're on a solar subclass, and have really fucked yourself in buildcraft, this isn't going to do anything better than any other option would. Like, it takes too much of an investment on your part to make it do okay, when you could just be using something else that's easier and better in every single way. It's unfortunate. I was really excited about this, but it's just not good. It's just not good. I cannot recommend anybody spend their time on getting one. It's outclassed in PvP, and it's power crept before Inception in PvE. Use anything else and you'll be much better off. But with that, that's gonna do it for me today. I understand that this might not be everybody else's opinion, because people really like Shayura's Wrath, and it's the same frame. This is like poor man's Shayura's. It's not. It's really not. Shayura's feels so much better, has better perks, has a better origin trait option, looks better, is like infinitely better statistically. I understand that maybe people aren't going to agree with me on this one, but that's fine. It's not like I make videos to exist in an echo chamber. That being said, though, I would love to hear whatever you're thinking about this weapon in those comments down below, especially if you disagree with me. Tell me I'm dumb and bad and stupid. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Have a wonderful day.